Hey everyone, let's talk about future tense. There are several future tense forms in Korean. Each form, though, can mean more than only the future tense. Is this sentence the future tense? 저는 해요. I do, whatever it is. Regular present tense can also be the future tense. So this sentence can mean actually three things. 저는 해요. Well, yes, I do it. 저는 해요. Whatever it is. We can say 공부. I study. 저는 해요. What are you doing? 저는 공부해요. I am studying. So it can be progressive tense, ing. But it could also be, hey, what are you doing tonight? 저는 해요. 저는 공부해요. I am studying tonight, as in, I will study tonight. The regular present tense that we know can actually work as the present tense, the progressive tense, and the future tense, just depending on the context. Using a future tense form, though, like what we're going to learn today, will emphasize and clarify that something you're saying is actually something that will happen in the future. Not something that's happening right now or something that you generally do, but something that will only be happening in the future. And we're going to be learning two of the most common future tense forms in today's lesson. So let's learn our first form. And the way you make it is you take a verb stem, so that's the verb minus the ta at the end. So if you have the verb 하다, you just get ha. Then you attach if that verb stem ends in a consonant. Or you just attach this letter, which is known as lir, if it ends in a vowel, and then you'll finish by conjugating this, 것이다. Note that there are some exceptions for verb stems that end in certain letters. For example, these are two of the most common ones that can have exceptions. If the verb stem ends with a lir or with a piup, you're going to conjugate these a little differently when you attach this. For example, if we have the verb 하다, the verb stem is ha, it ends in a vowel, so we attach a lir, 것이다. Or if we have the verb 이다, to be, well, we get the verb stem, it ends in a vowel, we attach a lir, so we get 일 것이다, it will be. Or 먹다 is to eat, which ends in a consonant, so we attach this, 먹을 것이다, will eat. Or 살다, to live. This is one of those that has an exception because it ends with this lir. If you see a verb that ends with this, you don't have to do anything. You just get the verb stem and you attach 것이다 and you're done. Or 춥다 is to be cold. This is another letter that can have its own conjugation. You would learn this separately when you learn how to conjugate the 요 form, but you normally remove the piup and you attach 우, and then we attach this. 추울 것이다, it will be cold. Now, what is this form? Well, this form is constructed of two pieces. 것, first of all, means thing. And 이다 is the verb to be. You should also know that 것 commonly shortens to just 거. It's not any less polite if you shorten 것 to 거. However, it is a little bit less formal if you want to compare. Otherwise, for regular speaking, feel free to shorten 것 to 거 in this form with anyone you're talking to. There's one more thing that we also need to know, and that is, how do we conjugate 이다? Because if you just leave it as 이다, we actually have something called the plain form. We need to conjugate this so that we can speak. For example, you might want to conjugate it to the 요 form. So let me give you a few examples of this. 것입니다, or 겁니다, or 거예요. It's not written as 에요 though, but when you pronounce it, you should pronounce it as 에요. Or 것이에요, you could do 것이야 and just 거야. There's one more thing you have to know. So let's do 하다. Well, we get the verb stem of 하다, we know is 하. It ends in a vowel, so we attach a lir. Then let's just do 거야. This is not said as 할 거야. It is said as 거야. So any time that you use this form, it always has this sound. 거. 오늘, today, 뭐, what, 하다, to do. 오늘 뭐 할 거예요? What will you do today? 오늘 뭐 할 거예요? What will you do today? 저는 I 공원에서 at the park 친구를 my friend 만날 거예요. So I will meet my friend at the park. 저는 공원에서 친구를 만날 거예요. I will meet my friend at the park. 내일, tomorrow. 영화, a movie, 보다, to see or watch. So, 내일 영화를 볼 거예요. I'll watch a movie tomorrow. There is another future tense form though that you also need to know. The way to make it is you take a verb stem just like before and you attach getda. But then you have to conjugate getda like a regular verb. So you can get a variety of different endings with this. If you're speaking in plain form, it will just be get다. If you wanted to use a more formal style of speaking, it can be 겠습니다. Or you could also use the yo form, 겠어요 or 겠어. get다 is most often used for the future tense when it's being used in formal speech. For example, most often when it's used to mean the future tense, it will be conjugated like this, among other conjugations, 겠습니다 or 겠습니까 for questions. This is how it's going to be conjugated most of the time. This is how it'll be the most natural. However, if you are not conjugating this into a formal ending, then it is not commonly used as the future tense. I'll show you what I mean by that in the next examples. First of all, though, let's focus on how it's used as the future tense. So let me give you a few examples that are formal. 제가 하겠습니다. I will do it. 제가 하겠습니다. I will do it. 내일, tomorrow, 서울에, in Seoul, 비가 오다. Literally, the rain comes. So, 비가 오겠습니다. Rain will come in Seoul tomorrow. Tomorrow, it will rain in Seoul. 내일, 서울에 비가 오겠습니다. So, tomorrow, it will rain in Seoul. Most of the time, when this form is used, it's not being used as the future tense, but it's actually being used to mean would be, or something must be, or just in general to make an assumption about something. Some common ways you might see it translated are, it sounds like, or it looks like something, or it seems like something. 서울은, Seoul, 겨울에, in the winter, 정말, really, 춥다, to be cold. So, 춥겠어요. Not it will be cold, but it must be cold. It would be cold. So it must be really cold in the winter in Seoul. Seoul must be really cold in the winter. 서울은 겨울에 정말 춥겠어요. 맛있겠네요. 네요 just shows surprise. 맛있다 is delicious. Wow, that must be delicious. Or you might translate it more naturally as that looks delicious. That seems delicious. 오, 맛있겠네요. 정말 좋겠어요. So 좋다 is to be good. That must be really good. 정말, really. Or that seems great. That must be great. 정말 좋겠어요. And that is the entire lesson for today. Thank you everyone for coming, and I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Wow, let me go check out these trees. Wow, it looks so pretty. Wow, look at that one. Wow, wow, wow. See you everyone.